Hey everyone, this is Mark Ryan coming at you with another video. Now, recently Paul Washer was asked the question, what is the greatest threat in the American church today, the greatest danger? And Paul Washer's answer just blew me away. And so today I thought that we would take a look at that video and I would share some thoughts. So let's take a look at it.
And we could say all kinds of other things, but it all does come back to that. We could say liberalism, which is true. We could say even a greater, more dangerous thing that's a secret, hidden liberalism is when men affirm that the Bible is inerrant, but their whole ministry is nothing but pragmatism. All you young men need to understand.
So liberalism would be, just out and out denying certain biblical truths. But secret liberalism is where you profess to believe in these truths, but you deny them by the conduct of your life. And this applies not just to pastors and leaders and teachers. This applies to everyone. And if I understand Paul Washer right, it's basically hypocrisy. Because when we say we believe in the sufficiency of the Bible, of Scripture, but then, when rubber hits the road and we turn to all these man-made ideologies like critical race theory to help us live a righteous life or to help us bring about justice, well, then we can profess to believe in the sufficiency of Scripture, but the conduct of our lives, it's denying that. If I say, hey, I believe in the omnipresence of God, and yet there's moments of my life where I live as if Christ isn't present with me, then I profess to believe in God's omnipresence, but in practice, not really. We could profess to believe in the omnipotence of God. He's almighty. And yet if we live our lives as if everything depends on me and he's not sovereign, working all things together, for my good and his glory, according to the counsel of his will, then effectively we can profess to believe in the omnipotence of God, but we're denying it by our lifestyle. And the same thing with the omniscience of God. If we think we can hide things from God by our conduct, in our daily lives, if we live that way, even if we believe in the omniscience of God, hey, effectively we're denying that. It's hypocrisy in certain things, and we're seeing that creep into the evangelical church. When you go to these pragmatic churches, they'll have statements that are orthodox. They'll have statements that, hey, they believe in all the right things. They profess to believe in all the right things. But when you look at the conduct where the rubber meets the road, they resort to pragmatism. We're going to resort to pragmatism to get as many people into the church. It's kind of the church growth movement, oftentimes, that does that instead of relying on the power of God. And by the way, we can apply this to a lot of things. I mean, we say we believe in the wrath of God and the eternality of hell. And yet, if we're not sharing the gospel with people that we love, people that we come in contact with, then by our conduct, we're denying the reality of hell. We're denying that people that we love could spend eternity in hell forever. And so it's one thing to say, yep, I believe in the reality of hell. It's another thing entirely where our conduct says, yes, we do believe in the reality of hell. And so right now in American Christianity, we're seeing so many Christians who are saturated kind of with this secret liberalism. And it's not just that everyone else has this problem. No, I have this problem. We've got this problem where we profess the right things, but our lifestyle, our conduct, our orthopraxy denies these things that we profess. And so that's a challenge. And that's kind of what I want to focus on in the future. Right now, I'm kind of finishing up the attributes of God and the solas and the study of salvation, soteriology. But eventually, and that'll take months to finish those things. But eventually I want to get to this kind of secret liberalism, if you want to call it that, and address that, because I think Paul Washer is kind of hitting a grand slam with this. And his thoughts on social justice and biblical justice, that's kind of what steered this channel to begin with, is the George Floyd riots. They were breaking out. And I'm in Montana, kind of, 1,000 miles away, just watching the United States kind of unravel. And I'm thinking, hey, what's the best way to tackle this? And for the most part, it's not even talking about social justice. It's talking about the attributes of God. And so, hey, I could go on and talk about the woke church and social justice movement a ton. I don't think that's really helpful. I think that talking more about the secret liberalism and hypocrisy in the church, saying we believe in things that we don't practice, I think that's more of an effective way to go. And that's where I think that we'll be going in the future. But hey, tell me in the comments, do you agree with Paul Washer here that, hey, pastors are the greatest threat in the American church, where basically we profess to believe things, but we don't live them out? And even with Christians, I would think, where we say, yep, we believe in all of the, the statement of faith and everything. We check every box, but our conduct doesn't live it out. In all reality, just let me know in the comments, and I will see you in the next video.